Hi guys, it's Megan from Nerd Initiative, and today I want to discuss the Easter eggs that were found in Daredevil Born Again episode 7. There wasn't many that I found, but I'll go over the ones I did find, which, like I said, are not many. So the first one I noticed in that shower scene of Matt Murdock, which I thought was a great scene for reasons. We see Matt Murdock wearing a crucifix around his neck, and I think it's the one that his mother gave him in Netflix Daredevil season 3, which that's a great tie-in, but I think it is. No one's proven that it's not, so I'm gonna go with it is. Moving on, when Matt Murdock and Heather Glenn are having that come to Jesus talk, Matt refers to the life he once had when he was working with Foggy Nelson, Karen Page, and his old life as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, connecting to all the events seen in the original Daredevil series on Netflix. That was a very interesting scene in itself, because you have Heather Glenn, who is trying to, I guess, therapist her way into his heart. But it's like, girl, we're going to need more than one episode to get into all his trauma. But kudos to you for trying, though. Moving on, Fisk confirms that following his so-called unjust arrest, Daredevil took down the Kingpin's entire business infrastructure that had taken 10 years to build. Of course, he's talking about Fisk's arrest that happened at the end of Daredevil season 3, which, after that wild fight with Daredevil, which Vanessa oversaw the whole thing, it seems that Matt Murdock didn't stop there, systematically going after every part of Fisk's operations and those who had worked for him, forcing Fisk to rebuild a new empire from the ground up in the years that followed. But I feel like Vanessa is the one that did that. But I could be wrong. Moving on, Buck, Fisk's right-hand man. I think we've all kind of established that it's replacement Wesley. His name is now officially not Wesley, because that's who he's meant to be. Mayor Fisk confirms that he brought Buck into his administration from his other life. This confirms that Buck Cashman indeed had a darker criminal past, because of course he does, mirroring his comic history as the Daredevil villain better known as Bullet. So, I mean, it makes sense. He's Bullet. I think we all kind of knew that, or most of us assumed that. I don't know too much about Bullet, but I mean, the way he shoots, of course he's Bullet. But also, I really like that Fisk always has a really good shooter on his side. It feels like the right way to go. So, spoiler warning, I guess we all have seen what happened to Muse, whose real name is revealed to be Bastion Cooper, a disturbed young man who is involuntarily committed multiple times by his parents, which is fair after seeing him, totally fair on the parent side. This is a notable deviation from the comics Muse, who on the page was a super-powered inhuman with a secret identity and a past that intentionally left a mystery by Marvel Comics. But Bastion Cooper's costume and mask, his dark artistic skills, and his disturbing preference for using his victim's blood to paint with remain the same as what's seen in the original comic. So basically everything about Muse is the same, the way he goes about things, how dark he is, the horrible things he's done. But Marvel Studios gave him an identity, which I don't like. I don't like that. I liked when there wasn't anything there. I liked the mystery. I thought it made him more terrifying. One thing I found really interesting was seeing Daredevil in costume during the day, which he didn't have a choice. He realized who Muse was going after. It was his girlfriend, Heather Glenn, who was Bastion's therapist, and he didn't have a choice. He had to go. So his final fight with Muse, it takes place in Heather Glenn's office in the daylight. As such, Matt Murdock is wearing his suit when it's still light, which is a pretty rare thing to see in the MCU. I want to say the only other time it's happened that he was out in broad daylight in his suit was in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. But I can't really think of another time that he was outside just during the day in his getup. So I thought that was interesting, but that also might be kind of a reach because, like I said, there wasn't much to go with because they didn't give many Easter eggs this time, which is fine. There was a lot going on anyways. So, Muse. Let's talk about the death of Muse. Heather Glenn is the one to kill Muse in episode 7. She shoots him right before what I thought she died, but she didn't. So, I mean, go her. In the comics, Muse wasn't defeated by Daredevil either, though. He was instead killed by another vigilante called Blind Spot, who was possessed by the dark supernatural being known as the Beast of the Hand. So it always goes back to the hand. That said, both cases saw Muse sharing similar sentiments about how badly he wanted to be seen and recognized by the public right before the demise of his story cut short, which is why he said, "I am the story." Now, one Easter egg I thought was really clever was the very last scene where we actually see what Buck is made of. We see Wilson Fisk sitting and eating at Beaumont's restaurant. So Beaumont's is a real restaurant in Brooklyn, one of the oldest Italian restaurants in the city with historic ties to the real-life mob and the 5 families. As such, it does feel very fitting that that's where Fisk sets up a trap and has that one guy just unalived. I found that interesting because it's like, did he know that Luca was going to do that? Does he blame Vanessa? Or did Vanessa tell him? Were they in on this plot together? I think the latter, and it would kind of suck if it wasn't like that. So those are the Easter eggs I found. Let me know in the comments which ones you found, if you found any. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you're watching this video because Nerd Initiative has so many things to offer, so why would you want to miss any of them? So with that being said, have a great day.